Yo, what's up guys, welcome to my cooking guide. This one should be a relatively short one since cooking is such a simple skill and there aren't really any multiple ways to train it, so as you'll see later on in the video it's going to be pretty straightforward. But before I start, I've created a straw poll and there you'll be able to decide on which 1 to 99 guide that I do next, so please go and vote in there for which one you want to see. The link is in the description. Those are the only ones that I have remaining, and I also have invention remaining, but the reason that it's not on there is because I don't train invention, or at least haven't really trained it that much yet, so I really don't have that much knowledge on it. But in the future there definitely will be an invention guide from me, so you won't have to worry about that. So as always, starting off with some useful items that will help you along your way up to 99. First of all, starting off with the sous chef's outfit. This outfit is obtained from Treasure Hunter. There are 5 pieces in the set. Each piece gives you a 1% XP boost, and if all pieces are worn at the same time it will give you a 6% XP boost instead of a 5% XP boost. So if you are lucky enough to obtain any of these items from Treasure Hunter, just make sure to wear them when you are cooking. Urns are extremely useful when you are cooking. At the higher levels, these urns will boost your XP per hour by about 60k, so I highly suggest using them, especially if you are cooking higher level fish. But anyway, let's just take a look at which ones you can use. Please bear in mind that they also require a crafting level in order to make them, and you have to have the crafting level yourself, you can't just buy them off the GE. So at level 2 crafting, you can make the cracked cooking urn, and this works with food up to level 10. At level 12 crafting, you can use the fragile cooking urn, and this works with food up to level 25. At level 36 crafting, you can use the normal cooking urn, and this works with food up to level 40. At level 51 crafting, you can use the strong cooking urn, and this works with food up to level 55. And finally, at level 81 crafting, you can use the decorated cooking urn, and this works with all food. So yeah, just like I mentioned before, just make sure you're using these if you have the required crafting level, as these will boost your XP per hour significantly. A Dwarven army axe is also useful, especially at the lower levels, as this provides an extra 3 XP whilst it's equipped upon completion of the Troll Warzone. Just bear in mind that this is only 3 XP, it's not 3%, it's just 3 extra XP onto whatever thing you are cooking. It may not sound like a lot, but just think of it like this. 3 XP is probably like, what, 1% of the highest level fish that you can cook? So it's basically just like having an extra piece from the sous chef's outfit. Bonfires are extremely useful, because cooking on a bonfire will give you a 10% boost in XP, and they are often found close to banks, because people are going to be obviously cooking close to banks as well, so you'll just be able to use the bonfires that they've placed down. Also, there are 2 permanent bonfires in Prif. One is straight next to the GE, and one is in the Max Guild. So these bonfires will constantly be up, so you just won't have to worry about any bonfire running out. However, I don't actually recommend using bonfires if you're going to be cooking, especially during double XP weekend. If you plan on cooking for a very long time, I highly recommend using these portable rangers. These can be won from Treasure Hunter, but they can also be bought from the GE. I think at the moment they're around 70k each, and these portable rangers have 2 little buffs. The first one is food cooked using it will give you 21% more XP, so that is more than double the amount of bonus XP that bonfires give you. And also with these portable rangers, you will also get a 5% chance that it will double your food. You will not gain XP for this double, but it will just send an extra piece of food to your bank. So this is extremely useful, especially if you are cooking items such as ROCKTAIL, which are quite expensive. That little chance will just reduce the amount it costs to get for you to 99. Like I mentioned before, you can buy these for around 70k each. However, you don't even need to use your own. If you join the Friends Chat Portables, which is how it's spelt on the screen now, you can just join that Friends Chat and then ask in there where the portable rangers, and those guys in there will point you in the right direction. People in this Friends Chat always have portable items up, so you never really need to use your own portables, and especially during double XP there's going to be loads of portables around, so you should have no trouble finding one. Lastly, we have possibly the most useful item out of all the ones that I've shown you already, and these are the cooking gauntlets. These gauntlets are available to you after completing the Family Crest quest, and these give you a reduced risk of burning all fish. Bear in mind that if you own the sous chef's mitts, which are a part of the sous chef's outfit, wearing these cooking gauntlets will still give you that 1% XP, so if you were debating over which gauntlets to wear, definitely wear the cooking gauntlets since it will give you the buff anyway. Now these cooking gauntlets are pretty much necessary if you want to get 99, because if you do not get these cooking gauntlets and you start cooking higher level fish like shark or rocktail, you're going to be burning them a lot. Because even at 99 cooking you will still be burning sharks and rocktail without these gauntlets. However, if you do have these gauntlets, you will stop burning them at level 94. So from level 94 to 99, you can train on sharks and rocktail, which I'm obviously going to show later on in the video, without burning any of them, and this will save you a lot of time and money. Alright, so we're done with the useful items, time to get into the actual leveling. From 1 to 15, you want to be cooking some crayfish. You get 30 XP every time you cook them successfully. The XP per hour doesn't matter since you'll be getting this in around 10 minutes, and the profit or loss from this is pretty even. I recommend getting these levels up with your fishing. Just fish the crayfish in Berthorpe and then cook them as soon as you catch them, and then you should just get to 15 in no time. Once you hit 15 cooking, you want to be training on trout. You get 70 XP every time you cook one successfully. It's around 30k XP an hour, and you will only lose a little bit of money when you do this. From 20 to 30, you want to train on salmon. You get 90 XP every time you cook one successfully. These will give you around 40k XP an hour, and once again you'll only lose a little bit of money when you do this. From 30 to 60, you want to train on tuna. You will get 100 XP every time you cook one successfully, and this is around 80k to 125k XP an hour. The reason that it differs so much is because you'll be burning a lot of them at first, but then as your levels increase you'll burn less and less, so you'll get more XP. However, even though you're burning them, you are getting quite a bit of XP, and you'll also make a small profit from doing this. From 60 to 90, you should train on lobsters. These give you 120 XP every time you cook one successfully, and these are 125k to 150k an hour. Once again, obviously differs because you'll be burning a lot of them at first, and then you'll start to not burn a lot of them as you progress. You will be losing money when you're doing this, but there's only a 10 GP difference between the raw lobster and the cooked one, so it isn't really that much at all. But just remember that you are going to be burning them, so you may lose more than you expected. Alright, time to get onto the big fish now, and there's two ways that you can go from here. This is the first way. From 90 to 99, you can train on sharks. You get 210 every time you cook one successfully, and you actually stop burning these at level 94 if you are wearing cooking gauntlets. And when you're cooking sharks, you will earn 250k to 320k XP an hour. Using today's prices, you'll only lose 100 GP per shark that you cook, and that equates to around 0.5 GP per XP. That is pretty cheap, and this is the method that I recommend using to get to 99, just because you'll be saving quite a bit of money compared to my next method, which I'm about to show you, and plus you'll be getting over 300k XP an hour, so the XP rate is nothing to complain about, it's pretty quick. But anyway, the next method is if you have a bit of money, or if you don't mind spending a bit more money, and that is you'll still be doing sharks but from 90 to 94, and then once you hit 94 you'll be doing rocktail all the way up to 99. For each rocktail that you cook, you'll gain 225 XP, and this will give you 320k to 400k XP an hour. Now I've actually heard that some people can get around 475k XP an hour if you're using all the buffs that I mentioned before, so if you want to achieve those XP rates, just use the buffs I mentioned before, such as the URNS. But anyway, moving on to how much money that you'll be losing. As I mentioned a little while ago, sharks are only 0.5 GP per XP. However, at today's current prices, you lose around 400 GP every rocktail that you cook, so that equates to almost 2 GP per XP, which is almost 4 times the cost of sharks. So that is why I recommended doing sharks earlier, since if you do sharks to 99, you'll only lose a little bit of XP per hour. And for a lot of people, they'd rather save money on cooking and save that money up for more expensive skills such as like herb lore, but I mean, it's really up to you on whatever you want to do. Now, as you may have seen from the thumbnail, where is the 700k XP an hour? This is where it is. It is making wines. These wines can actually make you over 700k XP an hour. You get 201 XP every time you make one. However, the amount of money that you have to spend in order to make them is insane. In order to make a wine, you need grapes, 1 jug of water, and then all you have to do is combine them both and it will create a unfermented wine. You will not gain the XP straight away from it. It will take around 10 seconds to ferment, but it's okay, you don't have to keep them in your inventory for them to be fermented. If you deposit them into your bank, they will ferment in there. Just take a look at this clip and you'll see what I mean. All you have to do is withdraw 14 grapes and 14 jugs of water, and like I said, combine the two and it will create jugs of wine. If you plan on doing this for a long time, I highly recommend creating bank presets, and this will withdraw 14 of each for you so you don't have to do it yourself manually, and this will make it a lot faster. If you don't know how to create a bank preset, I'll leave a link to my bank preset guide in the description, so just check that out if you want to know how to make one. At this current point of time, if you were to do this for 1 hour, it will cost a little over 8 mil, since you can make around 3,500 jugs of wine in 1 hour, and the supplies cost around 2,500. So yeah, only do this if you really have the money to do so. And also just bear in mind that all the raw supplies for pretty much every skill is going to be going up because of the announcement for Double XP Weekend. So if you're planning for Double XP Weekend, or if you plan on training around that date, the prices for any raw material in RS is going to be on the upswing. So yeah, just bear that in mind. But anyway, that is the end of the video. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, vote in the straw poll below for which 1 to 99 guide that you want to see next. And as always, thank you for watching, subscribe if you're new, and peace!